our game show. The fog got everybody jazzed this morning, huh? We got a lot of seats over here. Do you want to We still got a few people rolling in. Kristen, you want to get a quote?
Successful people are simply those with successful habits.
Successfully simple. Good work. Thanks, Crystal. Alright, I'm not going to help this. There we go. Alright. So, real quick, what are y'all grateful for today?
The weather.
The fog and the sunshine? Anybody go for a walk or do anything this morning in the fog? It's pretty wild, isn't it? It's kind of eerie. It's fun. I was grateful for the fog. Anybody else? Gratitudes this morning?
Got in and out of the codes office in less than 30 minutes.
In and out of codes in less than 30 minutes. Today?
Today.
Wow. Rise and shine. I like it. Anybody else?
Kiss concert tonight.
Kiss concert tonight. That's pretty good.
What?
Yeah. Alright, we need pictures.
What are you wearing?
Pictures tomorrow.
I'm gonna wear a suit.
Like a leather suit?
I am, one of the things I'm grateful for, a lot of y'all have gone through Ninja, and we had, what is it, 13 or 14 people go through, 14 people I guess, go through Village last week. So if you're here, can you stand up real quick, just so we can give you a round of applause? What, just shout out a couple takeaways, or a couple, what, did you like it or not?
Yes.
What was the best part?
That was really great.
And the silence. Alright, so it's really good. I talked to a lot of you on the phone, and I got some really good feedback. So keep that energy up and share what you learned with everybody else. So you remember we talked about, we skipped this for a week, last week I think, but wanted to just hit on a couple more points. What we learned so far, remember we learned about listening, and the goal of any negotiation is ultimately to listen with the goal of extracting and observing as much information as possible. So stop talking and start listening. Pretty basic. There is no voice, the late night radio DJ voice, the positive, happy voice, and then the assertive voice, which, as we learned, doesn't work very often. And then there's the mirroring concept. The concept of mirroring just to make somebody feel comfortable, and really is a way to get you to say, help me understand what you're saying, right? So when you're talking to somebody, and this can be a negotiation, it can be any sort of conversation, right? You want to make sure that there's clarity in that conversation. So repeating the last few words that they said, talking through, and just repeating what they said to make sure that you are clear in what they actually want. What about labeling? So this was I think in the second and third chapter, but it talked about spotting a feeling or emotion, turning it into words, and then repeating that emotion back to them in those words. The idea behind this is that if you label an emotion, if you apply words to it, it disrupts its raw intensity, right? So this guy was an FBI negotiator, so he dealt with people who were pretty scared of being shot or going to jail. So that's pretty raw and pretty intense. So he would talk about this a lot. He said, you expose the negative feelings and negative thoughts to daylight. For instance, it looks like you don't want to go back to jail, right? You're not saying, I know you don't want to go back to jail. You're not saying, you better not go back to jail. You're just simply stating a fact. Looks like you don't want to go back to jail. Or, looks like you don't want to let yourself down, right? It looks like you don't want to have to bring this counter back to your buyer. And there's a few ways that you can do that. It talks about first, obviously detecting the other person's emotional state. The second is just using these phrases. You can talk about it seems like, it looks like, it sounds like. Right? So it sounds like blank. But it's not about I. I know that's not grammatically correct. I did that to make a point. It's not about you. It's not about I. Don't say I'm seeing that, or I'm hearing that, etc. It can sound selfish, and if you offend them, then you've made your responsibility. So the idea is to just expose their fear to daylight, whatever their worry may be, and then to try to talk through that with them and have a more actual conversation about the real facts of the matter. And then the last thing he talks about is just, again, being quiet and listening. Just being here. And just let the silence sitting for a bit. We all have a tendency to expand on what we said to finish. So it seems like the way that shirt, it seems like you like the way that shirt looks, with a specific question like, where'd you get it? But a label's power is that it invites the other person to reveal himself. So I would encourage you all to try. Who's willing to try this just in a normal conversation? This doesn't have, I mean, it's negotiating skill, but it's also just a conversation skill. Who's willing to try this? Come on, y'all, today. Not right now. Not even yet. Today. You want to try? It does seem like that. I would agree with that.
And then what do we do?
Anyway, good conversation. Then you become a human again. You become a better speaker. All right, so on Bobby's front, Bobby, I've got some zoomed in highlights for the next few days, for this week, and then I've got the zoomed out version for the month.
Hey Zach, you know that all those people that went to Ninja, we have a follow-up for all those Ninja graduates from the last time and this time tomorrow, to keep them on the track and excited. And so that's called collaborative. That is tomorrow, Wednesday, the second Wednesday of every month. You want me in the middle? Okay, so tomorrow at 9:15 we have the collaborative, which is a collaboration of all of the agents who want inspiration, motivation, support. What else do we do? It's so exciting.
Collaborate.
We collaborate, yes. But it is a wonderful experience. It's growing. We've got 25 to 30. We always have a video of inspiration. Ann Nielsen and I, especially Ann, is picking out our videos, and those are coming along wonderful. How many have been to Collaborative? How many will continue to come? How many are going to come that haven't been? I didn't see many hands on that one. Okay, so that's tomorrow. After the Collaborative, we have Pro Bowl, which is for those of you who are thinking of expanding into an assistant, a buyer specialist, showing specialist, buyer's agent. In other words, those that want to take their business to what everyone calls the next level. So that'll be at 11 to 12 tomorrow, so that's exciting. And please don't miss this one. On Thursday at 10 o'clock, I have a special visitor coming to talk about radon. And radon is not new. It's not like we have a new thing happening in the state. It's an old thing that we've been kind of shoving it under the carpet, so to speak, and it's coming out more and more in inspections. And so I want us as agents to be prepared to discuss it without alarming or creating a complete blowout to the transaction. And so that is at 10 o'clock, and the guy is an absolute expert. So if you want to know more about it so that you can talk intelligently, please come. And by the way, the forms are changing on the radon, so you're going to be forced to start talking about it a little bit more. What else? Oh, that's right. The transaction desk, you need to go to this or you can't really operate, but they're not here at Village. They are at the TAR office. You want to give me the week? Oh, there we go. So, I do want everyone to know that there is Jumpstart this week, or next week, the 23rd, after Easter. How many are new agents are wanting to refresh coming to Jumpstart? One, we have one person. Great. We'll have a great time. We could meet for lunch. Okay, I want to encourage all of you. We'll be doing contracts, buyer presentation, seller presentations, and we're going to have some new material. Are we? Should I say it? We can say it. Say it together.
There you go.
We
We're going to have some updated buyer and listing presentations.
praise God. And that's what I got.
Sounds good.
Do you want to say any more?
There's I just noticed one more Monday, the 22nd, Greater Nashville Realtors Membership Luncheon. So come on out. You get points for that. All right.
All right, so a couple things announcement-wise. We've got Richard Creek Run still out there. Stacy, need some more runners. Where Paul Ruff's here? He's not here, but he runs 35 miles a week.
Paul Ruff does?
According to Facebook, like I saw someone posted it again, so maybe he doesn't, but that's a lot. I mean, it's 5 miles a day.
You do not have to run in the right.
Well, he needs to be running.
Walkers, babies, dogs, then there's an event afterwards, like ML Rose.
Okay, so walkers are allowed. There's an event afterwards at ML Rose on Charlotte, I assume. And yeah, so get with Stacy, email her or text her that number, and yeah, it'd be an awesome thing to support. The In Focus deadline. So if you have a listing that you want to highlight in Focus, get that information to Ashley Brown. She is. And she can get that, but we need that this week because a new edition's coming out soon.
When do those come out?
Can I elaborate real quick?
Yes.
It is also the Homes of Distinction issue, which is the big home issue every year. It's May. And we need to have a really good presence, y'all, in this issue. I have some intel that some other people are trying to kind of own the issues in other firms. So we need to just really come to the party.
Yeah, it'd be a great, I mean, it's a good one to, we'll have a lot of housing and, so yeah, we'll have a presence there and get your listings to Ashley. If we have more than 12, can we get another page? Yeah, so we can accommodate it. We have a lot of people that have listings they want to show. We split up the cost evenly. It's awesome, easy way to get some exposure to your listings. So get with Ashley on that, but it's already April 9th. So the deadline is tomorrow. I mentioned this in the email. Our staff is just doing an awesome job. They're probably not here because they're covering more responsibilities that they're taking on. They're playing more roles for us. They're really just pitching in a lot of different ways. And just wanted you guys to be aware because I know we get busy and going and can kind of overlook and take that kind of stuff for granted. But they're doing an awesome job for us. If you see that and notice it, and just give them a smile and tell them you appreciate all they're doing for us because they've really stepped up. All right. So, next on the agenda is a really fun thing. You know, we talked about the Village Fund, and sometimes I repeat myself a lot just because not everyone's at every meeting. But so just to reiterate what we're doing with the Village Fund, we're kind of turning it, and instead of everyone giving to the Village Fund and then a small group deciding where it goes, you are designating where you want your money to go, and then the company can leverage that at the end of the year with a percentage of our profits. We can kind of add to the places where you are excited about giving. So most of you have already designated that in their forms that Ashley has, but if you haven't done that, if you want to shoot her an email saying, hey, I'd like to make sure my Village Fund donations go to this nonprofit, any nonprofit of your choosing. It's a really cool way for us to kind of leverage all of our giving together. And for you you're already giving to a lot of different places, for you to really direct it where you want to go. And one of the great things we get to do occasionally is hear from some of those nonprofits that are out there in the community. So I want to introduce one of our very own, Rachel, from up front.
rock star guest speaker this morning, Becca Stevens. She's here to tell us a little bit about her nonprofit, Thistle Farms. So, for those of you who may not know about Thistle Farms, it's a world-known organization who helps women who are recovering from addiction, prison, prostitution, and sex trafficking. It's a really awesome place. This organization feels very close to my heart because I'm one of those women that she has helped. And Thistle Farms kind of saved my life about 4 years ago. I wouldn't be here today to answer y'all's 50,000 questions today if it wasn't for Thistle Farms. So anyway, let's give a wonderful listen and learn a few minutes to Becca Stevens.
Yay, Rachel! You know, one of the women in the circle just the other day turned to me and said, our circle is what we do every morning. We light a candle, and we say we light the candle for the woman still on the street, the woman trying to find her way home. And she had been there about 6 months, and she said, through tears, and she was just crying, and she looked at me and said, "Thank you for helping me save my life." I thought it was the best way I've heard somebody say it in a long time, that in this story, we're not having to be the heroes, we're just the hosts, offering people the time and the space and the homes they need to find the journey, get to be the hero of their own story. And Rachel, you are the hero of your story. And I think I know most of y'all, and probably many of you guys have given us money, so the talk is thank you. Thank you for all you've done to keep Thistle Farms going. We lit a candle about 20 years ago, and it stayed lit the whole time. And the only way a candle stays lit that long is when the community lights it. And y'all have done it. And you're talking about going out to lunch for your meetings. Many of you have come to the Thistle Farms Cafe over in Charlotte to do that. We've welcomed, I think, close to 60,000 people this year to the cafe. And everybody says that, you know, anybody you bring into a meeting, that meeting's going to go a lot better in the cafe than it would go anywhere else, because there's such a good feeling of love and joy in that space. And I think, really, I mean, people, Newell and Sherry and people who have really, they've kept Thistle Farms going for so long. I'm really grateful. I'm not saying that lightly. And for what y'all have done for our communities. And I know that y'all are already serving, you're already giving, you're already doing, you're already caring. That is what y'all are known for. And so all I just want to do is say an amen to all that and say, you know, I think the main thing we need to know is, like, wherever you're giving or whatever you're doing, that's good. You know, justice is a non-competitive sport, right? And that how all the ways that we give in this community are beautiful. And what I've always wanted to know, at least, is that, you know, when I'm serving this community, I'm serving it effectively. That what I'm doing is effective. And what I've loved about the journey of the community of Thistle Farms is it's been really, really effective. You know, 80% of the women who have come through have graduated and gone on to buy cars. Now, they used to buy homes in Nashville. Now everybody's going to Ashland City, right? I mean, that's crazy. We have so many people driving in from Clarksville, Ashland City, and places around there. But, you know, just 80%, that's an amazing number. And it was women who we absolutely crossed on the other side of the street to avoid at one point. And I think that the main thing, too, is not only, you know, thinking that what we're doing in this community and how we're serving is effective, is it's like we want to care for people with a lot of dignity, to feel like when we're doing this work and we're giving back, we're not belittling people, we're not underestimating what their story is or anything like that, but really holding up a story. And for me, you know, we have now 70 communities around the country, about 26 global partners. Everywhere I go, I hear this universal story of sexual assault against women that is so demeaning and heartbreaking, and knowing that women carry the scars of those sexual assaults on their back. And knowing that really the best way to care in my mind so far has been to really uphold that story that individual women go through, no matter how many times we hear it. Whether it's in the political realm, whether it's in our, local realm, wherever it is, but the story of sexual assault, and just be able to listen to that story and honor it, is one of the best ways that we can care and we can heal. And the truth is, we rape women, we kill villages. We heal women and we heal villages. And that's true for our schools, our homes, for everything that we're about in this community. The very last thing I'll say to you all is just I hope that when you're giving and you're doing the Village Fund, I hope you're giving just simply out of gratitude. There's a lot for all of us to be grateful for. This was the community in Nashville, Tennessee that kind of cut my legs out from underneath me in many ways. My dad was killed by a drunk driver when I was little. I was sexually assaulted beginning in the church when I was little. But it was also community that really held me up and kept me going for years and years. And I have always done this work out of deep gratitude for all the mercy and forgiveness I've known. And that's just true. And I hope maybe this morning, that you can remember truly some of that mercy and forgiveness you've known in your own life. And it makes it easy to give in that way. And so there's not like this burnout, another person asking you for something, another thing you have to do, another way to have to live. It's just like, just serve places that you think are effective. Just care in a way that you feel like is offering dignity and joy in this world. And just give when you feel grateful at a deep level for it. And then we can keep going together, and we can keep being the village that we are called to be. Thank you. Let me send a Thistle Farm selfie back. Y'all stand up. Come here, Rachel. This is how y'all are giving today. Wait, maybe you should say.
Here we go. All right, y'all ready?
Thistle Farm!
Here we go. Let me do a panoramic real quick. You got too big a room. Here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. Nobody move. Don't wave. Don't move. Thank you. We don't have to be the hero, we're just the host. Man, that is powerful stuff. That is really big stuff. Thank you very much. And thank you, Rachel, for where did Rachel head back down? Rachel's answering more questions. All right, so what's happening around town? Have you all heard? I heard a rumor that Amazon is coming. Has anybody else heard that? Who's heard that? Has anybody heard that? Is it true? Yeah. Okay. I heard a rumor. I don't know. I went to a panel discussion 2 weeks ago. Thanks, Leslie. It is true. Leslie's confirmed it. It is true. We got it. We're good. Went to a panel discussion 2 weeks ago, and a few of you all were there. Who went? Anybody go to that? A couple of y'all went there. I got a lot of notes from it, and I will send these out afterwards as well, or Ashley will. And but there was a case study. So there was a guy from basically the Seattle Business Journal, whatever it's called, and he has studied Amazon a lot and kind of their effects in Seattle, which they've been in since 2010, so 9 years. And this is really fascinating because it's Seattle's a different city than Nashville, obviously, but it is a way to understand kind of what may happen here and what the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful could be to come from it. So Amazon came to Seattle with 5,000 jobs. How many jobs are coming to Nashville? 5,000. Okay. And they grew to 45,000 in 9 years. Traffic and housing costs, the increasing of both, were the biggest issues, or are the biggest issues right now. There are 1,200 people moving to Seattle each week, which you hear about, 100 per day in Nashville, kind of the greater, region. That's not, it's definitely more, but not too far off. This guy said that Amazon is extremely opportunistic, and Nashville is a hub for young talent, and Amazon will capitalize on that. The one thing that he wished they would have done is to take a much harder look at traffic and transit before it became such a major issue. This blew my mind, y'all. Super commutes, which I hadn't heard that term, but super commutes are 90 minutes or more each way. Talk about books on tape. Woo. Podcast. Oh, man. So 90 minutes each way. They have increased in the last 9 years. Those have increased in Seattle by 80%. Amazon has directly funded a streetcar and bike lane widening, so that's good. This guy said, they will invest in projects as long as they directly benefit them, even if it's a public project. There's lots of non-Amazon employees that have had heavy recruiting competition from Amazon. This was another person on the panel that said, about kind of, recruiting. He said there is some beauty in movement between employers. You've got a smart society, and you bring people, around. They over the course of 10 years, they're different employers, and there's actually some good that can come to that too. So, Seattle went from 7 to 31 R&D companies since 2010 in 9 years. The 45,000 Amazon jobs they've tracked, those have directly created another 53,000 jobs, primarily in construction, retail, and healthcare. They've added $4 billion with a B to the built environment, so physical plant, structures, buildings, infrastructure, since 2010. He also said Amazon is a very private company, which I thought was interesting because I think it's so big, but he said they're very private about what their plans are in a lot of ways. So his prediction is that there will be more than 5,000 jobs. That Amazon has a few specific initiatives, and if and when one or more of those takes off, they will double down and invest heavily in it. So do you all know what those initiatives are that are coming here? I don't, and I didn't ask, but whatever they are, they're not just opening an office for the sake of opening an office. They have a reason or a few specific initiatives that they're going after. Whether it's who knows, whatever initiative they may be going after. But if anybody finds that out, let us know. And this was interesting, a new logistics sector. So if you think back to all the different sectors of the economy that Nashville has, so we're obviously music, way more than just country music, right? Music and entertainment. We've got healthcare, we've got banking and finance, we've got education, we've got government, we've got auto manufacturing and auto everything. So there's a lot of different, and others too, so there's a lot of different sectors. And the president of AT&T said, she was there, and she said, if you think back to 1969 when the Frisch family created for-profit healthcare for the first time, look at how that has created an entire industry sector in Nashville. And think about what a logistics sector could look like. This is another quote, Nashville is the Athens of the South, a knowledge-based economy. She said the AT&T president, she said she's struggling to find the talent they need here. So, I think her hope was that, Amazon may just help recruit more smart people to Nashville. Not that we don't already have a lot of smart people. I think there's just a lot of competition for those smart people right now, and that may bring in more smart people from the outside. So lots of interesting stuff. This was a slide which it's kind of fuzzy because I took a picture of it with my phone, but these are the breakdown of pay for jobs. So I think there was some stuff that said there are 5,000 jobs and they're all over $100,000 a year jobs, right? I heard that from somebody. I thought that sounds a little off. So there are actually 50 jobs that are over $100,000 on average. And then there are 25 legal jobs, they say average 92,000. 25 other jobs averaging about 40, 30 something, 40. About 400 jobs averaging in the 30s. 1,500 computer and math occupations in the 78 range. And then 3,000 business and financial operations in the 67,000 range. Also, we'll send this slide out too. you know, you can go through and do some quick mortgage math and see, you know, what that, you know, you double that for a household or something like that, what that could bring in. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Any questions on that? Is that helpful? Any thoughts, feedback on Amazon? So, what you got?
How do they do their real estate for all those people?
How do they do the real estate for all those people? So they don't have one single company that they are working with, and they did that on purpose. And I think, and I don't know this fully, but I think whatever, if you work with an Amazon employee, you will pay some sort of referral fee somehow to them. What's that? To their relocation company, basically. Yeah. But it's not company specific. So, and they're not going to all show up in one day. It'll be over the next couple of years. Any other questions, thoughts? Where's their office?
So it's in the Nashville Yards, which is like where the old Lifeway buildings were downtown. So kind of between Broadway and Charlotte on the western edge of downtown.
So the building imploded. They might have maybe they'll have a planting parcel, I'm not sure. Distribution center, yeah. This right here is all just kind of brain power, not manufacturing or not. I'm sorry, not distribution. Yes.
Hey Zach.
Yes.
Those are also base salaries. They have bonuses.
Are these base salaries? Okay. Bonus time. Anna?
So I Googled some of the initiatives, and so through the guy that does the Centers of Excellence.
The guy, I just Dr. Googled some of the initiatives, and the guy that runs that Center of Excellence, I guess, actually graduated from the MBA program. The Haslam? Is that Bill Haslam? Not sure, but he was speaking in Knoxville in November, and essentially what he said, those initiatives are things like the Amazon Flex, which is crowdsourcing package delivery by using an app, or in-home package delivery, or in-car package delivery. So it looks like that may be the data place for a lot of their kind of newer initiatives in terms of implementing them and creating a plan for them.
Like an Uber for packages? Uber and Lyft for packages? So I feel like that's what already happens. We've got just dudes in a car dropping packages off now. Right now? I've had it with regular stuff too, I think. Maybe the van for a short stack, I don't know. Alright, how's the market, y'all? What are you seeing? Interest rates? You've got pretty level here. The 15-year fix went up a tiny bit, but otherwise everything else stayed level. I've got a few stats that I thought were kind of interesting. And
That's a good one.
Let's find out. All right, so this is interesting. In 1950, leave it to Beaver, 75 of households were married. Today, only 50% of Americans are married. In 1950, 43% of households were married with kids. Today, that number is only 20%. So what happens when you have two people and kids and houses? How many houses do those people need? One. How many houses do the other 50% need? Usually two, right? So later marriages, it says younger generations are delaying marriage, and I know this is obvious, but just I thought some stats were helpful. Since 1960, the average age of first-time brides, I don't know if they don't talk about grooms, but first-time brides increased by over 6 years from 20 to 26 and a half in 2011. Additionally, more young people are forgoing marriage altogether, up from just 9% in 1960 to 20% in 2012. Younger generations are waiting longer to start families. Over the last 45 years, the median age of first-time mothers has increased by 5 years. American families have gotten smaller since 1960, resulting in the need for smaller homes. But also smaller homes, but also more homes, because you've got more single people, unless you just want to have a bunch of people rooming together. All right, so NAR did a wealth gains report. This is just a reminder that what you do is helpful for people. Did you know that you're helpful to people? You are. So, homeownership associated with higher wealth. Duh. In 2016, homeowners' median net wealth was worth $231,400, or 45 times the median net worth of renters. I'm going to say that again. The median net worth, not wealth, the median net worth of homeowners was 45 times that of renters. That's crazy. I mean, that's really amazing, actually. This looks at homeowners versus renters. Here's the ratios. So 44.5 in 2018. At its low point in 2010, it was 34.5. Even then, even in 2010, the worst market ever, homeowners still were almost 35 times wealthier than renters. So just a reminder, especially with first-time homebuyers, you are helping people take a huge step in creating long-term wealth for themselves. I know you know this, but some numbers can help. And again, we'll share all this stuff so if you want to put it on social media, whatever. This all came from the National Association of Realtors. Your dues at work. Principal payments plus price change in a 5-year average, the last 5 years, the average median income, total equity gains were almost $80,000 for the average homeowner in America. 10 years, 91,000. 15 years, 125. 30 years, $250,000. One house. If you look at let's see, what was that? That was typical single-family existing home. Oh, that was the United States. Here's Nashville, or the greater MSA. Even more. Remember, the U.S. was 79,000. Nashville, last 5 years, the average homeowner gain was $100,000. $97,000. $97,762. Call it 100. 5 years of gains, and you just made $100,000 on paper, granted, and it's your house. So it's not an ATM machine, but that's huge. 10 years, 128,000. 15, 154. 30, another $250,000. Y'all are making big improvements in people's lives. So do not forget that. Nashville, Davidson County, this just looks at the median sales price for a single-family existing home, $261,600 versus we're almost at the median for the U.S., but not quite, $260,500. Now this is interesting. This is just a reminder that Nashville's a pretty good economy, right? So people say, how is the recession here? Well, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't all that bad, relatively speaking, to the whole U.S. I mean, the U.S. ramped up, and then came crashing down. We had a little blip, but we stayed pretty steady, relatively speaking. Now we're getting a little bit closer to the U.S. here, because Nashville's a popular place to be, Amazon, etc. So, helpful stuff. Any takeaways from this? Any comments, thoughts? How would you use this to talk to buyers or sellers? Probably buyers. Who are renting? Okay. So, what you focus on expands. If you hear the word renter, or you hear the word, hey, my apartment is ... in a conversation, what would you ask?
Seems like you might need to buy a house.
Seems like you might need to buy a house. Seems like you're paying a lot in rent. Do you get to keep any of that? I mean, I don't remember how renting works, but do you get to keep any of that? All right. Tools. We've got a lot of tools coming up. Okay, just a reminder, some social media. People have asked about this. Who's been on VRES Market, VRES-Market lately? Okay. We are updating it. There's a lot of stuff changing on it. Please go check it out. If you need a password, I think you can click reset your password, or Chris can help you downstairs. Go to VRESmarket.com, click on marketing right up here after you log in. And then over here, there's a little thing that says social media and developments. We talked about this last week. I just wanted to show you where these were. And there's more and more of these coming out every week. So these are a few that are up there now. You can click on any of these, and again, there will be more. These are just fast moving design. They're just things that you can post on your social media as a way to try to attract buyers. People talk about, hey, I want to know more about projects. We're trying to put as many projects that various village agents have up here with their permission. And so thanks for everybody who's been willing to do that. Share the love. Then once you click on that, this shows up. It says links right over here. There's 1, 2, and 3. You just click that, and boom, it downloads into your downloads folder. Right? Who's done that? Who's posted something already? It's cool. Do it. Anybody got any leads off of it? We had one. I think we had somebody who got a good buyer off of it. All right, tips. Ashley sent this out yesterday. Who's noticed the real tracks days on market is changing? Did y'all know that? All right. 2 new calculations are added to the stats and CMA reports. One, so first thing, days on market is only calculating active. So I think it used to calculate active and then under contract showing. Sounds like they are stopping it at the under contract anything, which will help, I guess, everybody's days on market stats. Because I think some people used to finagle that a little bit to try to make it, shorter, but it makes it a little bit more even now. 2 new calculations were added: list to contract, which is the days between the list date and the contract date, and then contract to close, which is the days between the what? Aptly named. Good. All right, tip number 2. The chicken or the egg. 5.5 ways to deal with the conundrum of working with clients who are buying and selling and buying. I printed this out. I know this is really tiny print, but I'm going to run through these real quick. So this is something that, who's worked with a seller who has to buy, but they don't want to sell until they can find something they can buy, but if they buy, they also can't have a home sale contingency, so they've got to be able to sell their home, but then, right? We deal with stressful things, stressful situations. There's 5.5 ways to deal with this. And these are the only ways that I can think of. So if you can think of more, great. Here's the scenario. There's a positive consequence and a negative consequence for each. All right? So scenario 1, I call it choice. They're all choices, right? So you can control that decision. The seller can control the choices which they want. You can list your home for sale while looking seriously for another. Once your current home goes under contract with solid terms, you can commit to purchase another. The goal is to have simultaneous closing so only one move is involved. The positive consequence is there's a little risk of owning 2 homes at the same time. It means it's fairly safe financially, assuming the contract on your home that you're selling is solid. The risk, the negative, is the choice for your next home are limited to existing inventory and a short timeline pressure. Not finding a satisfactory new home before closing your current home could be a double move, and the need for temporary housing. Nobody likes to move twice, and it's also expensive. So next time somebody says, hey, can you do it for less? Say, do you know how much it costs to move twice? Just a reminder. Choice number 2, you agree to purchase a new home contingent upon the sale of your current home, right? You agree to purchase a new home. That's a classic home sale contingency. Obviously, the plus is you can avoid the risk of owning 2 homes. The negative is home sale contingencies are not that attractive. So it's hard to get an offer, and you're probably going to pay more for a home if you have one. Choice number 3, you can list and sell your current home now and move into temporary housing while you look for another permanent home to buy. Okay? So you're putting your house in the market, you're going to get staged, get all the pets out. Obviously, the benefit is there's a luxury of not being pressured to act quickly in a purchase, and the ability to have cash ready. So you sell your house, you live in temporary housing, your wallet is fat because you got cash, but it's a little bit more expensive because you got 2 moves. It's also just agitating because you're having to live in a temporary place that you're not familiar with. Number 4, talk to a lender. Do we have any lenders here? Talk to a lender. Obtain a HELOC or a bridge loan on your current home prior to listing it for sale. Then look for and find a new home with cash in hand. Then list your current home once the other home is closed or fully pending. Time is on your side, the positive part. Time is on your side. You don't have to sell your current home until you find the best next home out there. So if there's not one, you don't have that time pressure, right? However, carrying 2 mortgage payments plus a HELOC adds a lot of extra monthly expense. And I guess I didn't finish that, but if the market changes to or something, what would that be? If the market changes or interest rates go up, interest rates go up. That's probably what I said. We should have it in there. Just make sure you all pay attention. Choice number 5, A, is you don't list your current home for sale. You keep it as a permanent rental. You can obtain a HELOC if needed to use the cash for another purchase. Positive, having rental allows for longer-term wealth creation. That's 2 houses. That's like double the wealth, in theory, right? The downside is you have 2 mortgage payments plus a HELOC payment, and it can be expensive if it doesn't rent. So there is some risk involved. 5B would be don't list your current home for sale. Keep it as a less than 3-year rental and sell it before 3 years passes, allowing for, and I'm not a CPA, you are not either, but theoretical tax-free gains. What is that question that closing attorneys ask you at closing about?
2 out of the last 5.
How long have you lived in your house, right? You lived there at least 2 out of the last 5 years. So is that right? 3? 2? Because you got 3? I think that's right. Just want to make sure I want to know it too. The upside is in an appreciating market, it's possible that the value you can continue to grow over the next 3 years. The downside is renting can be a burden. The home may show more wear and tear when you sell it 3 years later. Plus, it's not furnished nicely like you would have it. Capital gains risk. There's capital gains risk for going on in 3 years. Is that helpful? You can talk this through with sellers. This is their choice, right? You are not a magician, right? You can do a lot of different things, but give them these scenarios and put it in your own words if you want. We'll email it out to you, but finish the or, and then talk to them about it. You'll be an expert. You sure you are. You'll show them that you are. All right, progress. Hunter, what you got?
I'll be quick. Zach, it's in a group today. I love it. I called him a nerd last week. I felt terrible. His head would talk to Zach.com. He just spilled that himself on the side. Like, who does that? All right. Hey, just remember, this is stuff we've probably already heard, but just to kind of have it fresh in your mind, if you got questions, you can email them to brokers@villagerealestate.com. 21st agents, really any agents, if you want to talk to Zach, go to his website, and he builds himself at night. Talk to Zach.com, and it's got his calendar, links right in there. Saturday night, yeah. Colin is kind of changing from a role that was more focused on recruiting to a role that's more focused on agent services and helping you guys out. There's a lot of business going on in the company now, and so we felt like we needed more support there. So she's downstairs, reach out. She's awesome to work with. You just need to bend an ear because you got something going on. Colin is there. Zach is there. Your broker at your offices are there. Just another resource to help you guys out if you need it. We mentioned the splitting commission checks. If you want to kind of force yourself or encourage yourself to save or set aside tax money, tax on April 15th.
6 days from now.
6 days from now. So we've got that set up just as an added helpful thing that we can do for no charge. And then remember to order your signs. We're starting to see those out there, and they look awesome. I know the sign company is like trying to get them done as quickly as they can, but if you haven't ordered them, make sure you go ahead and order them. We want to get all fresh signs out there looking good and kind of have that helping our brand. We've got Boost coming. We've talked about Boost. Boost is going to be awesome. It's kind of like the old postcard campaigns that people would do when they have it coming soon or just listed. You email or you send postcards out to the neighborhood and the 25 closest houses. Boost is that except for social media, and so the company is going to pay for that for any new listing that you have that's over $200,000 and not a big new construction listing. So that's coming out in 2 weeks, and so they're getting that all set up, and that'll just happen for you. You'll get an email when you put a listing in, and they'll say, here's your ad that's going out. If you want to change it, change it. If you don't want to, let it rip, and you don't have to do anything. They'll just start sending you reports. Here's where it went, here's who clicked on it. It's going to be a lot of cool data, and so we'll have some training around that when it launches, but that's coming in about 2 weeks.
New construction, if it's a single new construction listing, but it's like a 30-unit project where you've got your own marketing, we're going to turn it off for that. We don't want to interfere with your...
Yeah, so if you have a new construction house, it'll still get picked up. If you've got a 30-unit apartment building that has its own marketing budget, we're not going to interfere with that, just to clarify. And Zach mentioned the market, go online. These are all set up, able to be designed on the fly for you. You can print these one-page flyers out on your own, or you can design these and they will be printed professionally and delivered the next day here. So all that's set up and going. We've also got new postcards just listed, just sold at vres-market.com. So go there and set those up, get some postcard campaigns going for your listings. It's a great way to get new business. Zach, back to you.
All right, so I sent a teaser out. Anybody looking for a new CRM? Who wants a better CRM than they have right now? We have a new answer for you. We've invested heavily into a product called Boomtown, and it is it's a big investment, and we think that it is worth it because it's pretty powerful stuff. So I'm going to go through some highlights on it. You're going to be hearing about this for the next several weeks, really several months, but because we want to get as much adoption on it as possible. You don't have to do this, but it's there if you want it. So just a few highlights. There's a consumer-facing website. We're gonna sort of double it up right now. VillageRealEstate.com. Currently, it's VillageCN.com. We are not going to make Travis go away right now. We don't want to freak anybody out if you're using Travis. So we make the transition nice and easy. So they're going to be, just for a little bit, they're going to be two Village websites, so VillageCN.com and VillageRealEstate.com. It's an extremely powerful CRM. It's a lead capture system, so it helps capture leads. And I'll show you some examples of that. It's also a really powerful lead follow-up system with really automated and very smart drip marketing. It has a lead management system with predictive analytics, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And then some promoted marketing opportunities. There's an agent app, and the list goes on and on. So, FAQs. We'll try to go away. I'll just talk about that. Will you have your own website? Yes. You can have yourname.villagerealestate.com. Or if you have talktozach.com, I can forward it to here if I wanted to. And you can set it up so it still looks like talktozach.com if you want, or talk to Joe, or talk to Susan, whoever you want. Doesn't cost anything. There's going to be two plans. There's a free plan that gives you a lot of the stuff, and then there's a plan that gives kind of the full kit and caboodle, which is $50 a month. We have to pay for anybody using that. That's an extra expense for us. And I won't get into all the expenses, but this is a very, very, very expensive program if you were to go do this on your own. So we've been able to scale it and get it down so it's a significant savings for you. So. How does that work? So you've got, let's say you've got a search going on here. What's that?
It's not there. Just be clear. The base plan is like just a base CRM. It's you can use it and it works great. That's free. But then the extra tools, you can pay $50 a month. You can opt in and do that on your own.
It's like predictive analytics, which I'll get into a little bit, and then some pretty smart drip marketing. Some of that stuff is what you're paying for. And again, we're going to do a lot of training on this, so this is just a little taste. So let's say you're searching for something, just like any website, you can narrow things down. You could click a listing, and then after, it'll let you go through the listing, and then after a few photos, it's going to ask you for to generate to log in, right? So if you're on your own website and you're sending this out and you're marketing to people with that, then it can do this, and it can do this after a few photos. They tested it between 2 photos, or 10 photos, or 5 photos, and they've selected 4 photos. That's when they get the most people to sign in. Yes, some people will use a fake email address or a fake phone number, but I've been blown away just in testing this without doing any marketing, and it's not even live yet on the actual site, but it's out there, and somehow people have found it, and they're giving up info. It's wild, and once they do that, it's pretty fascinating what they can do. So they'll click on that. There's also an option where once they type in an email address, or they can connect with Facebook, they put their full name, and then it just asks them for their phone number, which is also their password, which makes it easier to remember. So that's helpful. They can then start favoriting properties, which I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You see there. Yeah.
So this is all on my private website.
This is on the main Village website and on every individual will have one of these.
I've got AaronWhiteRealEstate.com. This can be a part of my own.
This can be a part of AaronWhiteRealEstate.com.
And capture leads for me.
And capture leads for you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you see right here it says, you've got your favorite right there, and then it shows that you favorited it. This is the back end, so this is just the CRM. Again, this is a really, really powerful system. So I log in just as a user, as a client, and so it has a lot of information up here. So it knows that I have favorited 3 properties. I looked at 5 properties. I've visited the site 28 times. I registered 5 months ago, and my average web activity is looking at 491,000 homes. That's pretty cool. I last logged in 5 minutes ago, and I'm assigned to a buyer's agent, to myself. And it has my address in there. I can click on RPR and get a quick, as a back-end user, get a quick update on there, on that address. And there's all kinds of stuff here. So you've got, I can put in some manual searches, but I can start seeing the properties that they're looking at. I can see what kind of searches they've got. they can set up their own searches. You can set up searches for them, just like RealTracs Auto Notified, so it can stay through this all. It can stay all in one system, so it effectively tracks everything that they do, which I know sounds scary, but that's what every company does nowadays. So we're giving you the technology to be able to do that. It also just makes it more valuable, makes you better at what you're able to do, because you can see what they're looking at without having to talk to them every second of every day. So you've got that. You've got some notes here. You've got recent web visits. So this shows every time I've been on the site, and I've looked at how many properties I've looked at every time. There are property valuations. There's an automated valuation. What does the M stand for? I can't remember, but model, I think, where if somebody wants to type in their address, it will give them an automated valuation and a range, and then ask them to contact you. There are smart drip plans, which I'll show you about in a minute. They can set up e-alerts for themselves. You can set them up for themselves so that they get things immediately. That's the AVM, just an example of that. So you've got your property report. I just made up an address. It's a real address, but I just threw one in there. Says a low estimate and a high estimate, and then suggests that you contact your agent. And this is just showing you a little bit about kind of what it looks like on your end. And some of the smart drip campaigns. Again, this thing I can go on for hours on this. I'm just giving you a quick highlight. Some of the smart drip campaigns, you can customize them just like you used to with Emma or something like that. Except what you want is for something not to sound like a totally canned email, right? And so they're really neat ways. So I hope you're having a great day of the week, time of day. So you could say, I hope you're having a great Tuesday morning.
At 9:04 a.m.
How cool is that? How cool is that? So hope you're having a good Tuesday morning. And it'll change that anytime, whenever they get an email. So you can trigger it. So if somebody goes on your site, they can get an email within 2 hours or within 5 minutes or within 2 days or whatever you want. You can set up drip campaigns. We'll have some company ones that you can just adapt to, or if you want to do it yourself, you can as well. There's various tools, and again, I won't get into the weeds on this, but if they start doing one thing, then it can send them down this path. If they start doing another thing, you can send them down this path. The idea is to really have some artificial intelligence that's working behind the scenes to really help you nurture some leads before they get to you or your own buyers. Behavior tracking, this is fascinating. If they have a behavior patterns of visiting the site around lunchtime most days, then you might say, all right, I want this to go out to them 2 days afterwards. Well, it's not just going to go 2 days at the exact same time. It's going to start tracking their behavior patterns. And whenever they're on the site, if they go and visit your site on lunch breaks, then we'll start sending them emails about 11:55. So that you're at the top of their list. How cool is that? It's amazing. So yeah, I sent myself an email and just looked at this and said, good evening, Zach. I hope you're having a good Monday. Checking to make sure you don't yada yada yada. Anyway, so I just thought that was kind of cool. Good Monday. I should have done Monday morning. That would have been even better. Who likes the idea of having this? Good. Sweet. All right. Yeah, way different, man. There's a lot of quiet on it. So there's going to be a ton more coming up. I know some of you all have your own CRM. There's some people in this company who are investing heavily in this already, and I think they're excited about having us pay for it instead of that. But that's it. All right, coming soon. Any questions? So we have there are about 20 people that I've got I've got as kind of guinea pigs. They're gonna learn it this week, and it really is a huge learning curve. It's such a powerful CRM. The downside is if you try to get on it and just wing it, you're gonna be confused. Right? It's gonna require some training. Just like if you got on RealTracs, you gave RealTracs to a stranger and said, hey, try to search for a home. And remember, you got to go hover over the search and then pull down and click residential and then type in the property type or the status. Once you learn how to do that, it's second nature. But there's certain little things, because it's so powerful, that you'll want some training. All that being said, to answer your question, probably in a few weeks, we're just going to start adding users as you want. So if you want to be on it, feel free to shoot me an email. We're going to add everybody, but if you're super excited about it, just let me know. I'll bring you in on the early loop. All right. Coming soon. Rachel? Is Rachel here? She's in front of me.
Alright, so Rachel's listing her personal home, completely renovated in Eagles Glen. walkable to Whole Foods, the factory, Sonic. You have Centennial High School is walkable to as well. Complete outdoor area has been renovated with a kitchen and refrigerator, stuff like that. It's 4-bed plus a bonus flex room, 3.5 bath, 2,800 square feet, granite counters, tile bathrooms, etc. It's been done out. Do you have any questions? Talk Fred. It's listing. I think they're trying to go live Thursday for 5:15.
Yeah. So we sorted these. Somebody gave some good feedback to sort these by. Although
The paper is.
the paper is. I must have copied something before I sorted. Sorry.
Okay, I have 514B Camden coming at the end of April. It is a new build in the Woody Crest area near the fairgrounds, but like on the other side of Wedgwood from WeHo, kind of. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's 2016 square feet. There's a fenced-in backyard. Yeah, it's a great little build, and it's priced at $469.9. Sorry, I can't see.
Just say it's over by Bushy Plumbing.
Yes.
What's next?
Oh,
Your kids are up there. Megan, you here. Let's talk about your 226 Berry Street. Cummings.
226 Berry Street is in East Nashville, McFerrin Park. It's about a mile from downtown, so bird scooter distance. It's just down the street from Polk and Wilburn Street Tavern, and they're building more restaurants there, and the Roxy Theater, which is going to be a music venue. It was renovated several years ago. It has 3 master suites, views of downtown, really high ceilings, and it's awesome.
Is middle here? Is here right here? Yeah, right middle. David?
Okay, we've got a 995 square feet in the somewhat fashionable Cumberland on Church Street downtown. This was built some years ago as a standard 2-2 with a rather dismal, if you've been at them, tunnel-like living room. It was totally gutted by the current owner and turned into a 1-2 with a dining room and office. Everything was done first rate, everything was redone. Really great views from the 21st floor. You've got the 505 pool deck for your voyeur clients. You've got the Batman building for your fans of bogus modernism, and you've got views forever for your view fans. 2 reserved parking places come with it. This will go up next week, or maybe the week after if the Boost thing is going to start. Then I don't have to talk to my clients. I can get you in as soon as they're back in town and they give me the fobs. And the key, this is a 2-fob building, not just a 1-fob building. So you talk about security, you got it in spades. I'd love to get you in before it is listed, but anytime is fine.
you need help running a
460 American.
That's money.
Well,
I can. So I have a 17-acre lot just off of Old Charlotte Pike, which is it's basically a mile behind the Tailgate Brewery there. It's zoned R80, so roughly 2-acre lots. It currently has 2 mobile homes on it that are able to be rented or removed, should you please. But it's a great place down at Sullivan Hollow Road to build either a secluded little paradise or possibly develop it out. She also has an extra 7 acres that are for sale over there as well. Should your clients be interested?
Awesome. Amanda, are you here? No? Doug?
Hey guys, real quick, just have an encore coming up next week. It's 11th floor, faces the pool, 1 bedroom, about 700 square feet. We are a 1-fob building, so for your ease and access. Yeah, that's it. We're staging tomorrow, photos. Thursday, but if you want to get in early, let me know. Thanks.
Chandler.
Chandler's got let's see, it's 217 Rayon Drive, County in Old Nathan Grade, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath cottage, minutes from Old Hickory Village. Let's see, kitchen was updated about 2 months ago, freshly painted throughout, original hardwoods, about 1350 square feet. Great level backyard, unfinished basement. It's going to hit the market on Thursday, and it's going to be priced around $275-ish.
Awesome, thank you. And last but not least, Tim Myers.
We got it's a 800 square foot. It's built like a tiny home. It's looks like a blue barn almost. It's a 1-bedroom plus a loft. It's on 2 acres up in Ashland City. It was featured in Tiny Home Talk and also on Pickler and Ben. It's beautiful inside. It's got a full like IKEA kitchen and all the appliances stay. They're all just for that size. It's got a full-size washer and dryer and a full-size bathroom, which you don't ever find in a tiny home. So they, the wife wanted a good livable bathroom, so she got a full-size tile tub and shower and everything like that. So, but it's on 2 acres, beautiful flat spot up on top of a hill, gorgeous views, and it'll be going live early next week. 135.
Cool. Get one?
I have one that's not on there. Just keep y'all awake. I have 201 Belmar Avenue, super cute cottage over in West Nashville, right by Charlotte and White Bridge Road. So super convenient to 40. It is a 1940s bungalow. There are not any of these houses anymore. This is kind of like your cool Hillsborough Village bungalow, but it's in West Nashville. It's really cute. It's 3 or 4 or 5 bedrooms. You get to pick. And it's 3 full baths. It's on 1/3 of an acre lot. It's a deep lot, so you have a lot of privacy in the back. Huge deck in the back. Updated kitchen, updated baths, beautiful hardwood floors, stone fireplace. It's actually got a basement, bedroom with a full bath that could be rental income. Or a man cave, she cave, whatever you want to call it. We're listing at $410. It'll be live, I'm hoping this weekend, but Sam Graham's going to come pretty it up and make it do some staging magic. So probably next week is what we're looking at now. So, but it's that $410 price point in West Nashville with that much land, it's going to go fast. I would love to get y'all in early if I can. So it's like right around 2,100. I'm getting the measurements back today. I measured yesterday, so it's a great house, y'all. Lots of windows.
Awesome. That's it.
Any broke ropers?
I think there's one. Yeah, Shane.
Hey guys, we have a new project called Summit West. It's at 245 White Bridge Road. Today, 11:30 to 1:30. But have no fear because I said White Bridge Road and I saw some eyes like, but we have transportation provided. We have Sprinter vans that are in the parking lot here because there's a bunch of Corona there. So, so you're welcome to come on your own from 11:30 to 1:30 today, or if you're here, you can jump in one of the Sprinter vans. They're running every 15 minutes back and forth. And basically what we're trying to do is 19 units, new construction townhomes. They're big, rooftop decks with skyline views, believe it or not. Awesome location, obviously, with everything that White Bridge offers. And it's kind of a, tell us the price is what we're trying to accomplish for the developer. He just asked us if we could get some experts out there. We're providing lunch. Like I mentioned, we've got a bunch of beers and water, and Tequila del Sol is catering the whole thing. So lunch is on us. All we have to ask is that you take a walk through the model and let us know what you think the price should be, what you think they'll sell for. If you don't want to take the Sprinter vans, Paul Ruff's going to be running from here. Yeah, it's his daily. If you want to join him on the run over to White Bridge as well.
We do have, I think one of the templates for Instagram is for that development.
Yeah.
So you could go check it out and download one of those templates and use it today.
Right.
So we're doing a little branding workshop after this. This will be a hands-on thing. It's not going to take that long, although I know we're running a little over, but we're going to start pretty soon after this. If you want, if you need help using VRS Market, if you want to learn about how to use the new logos, when to use them, where to use them, what to do with them, etc., come on. It'll probably be, I'm guessing, kind of 30 minutes of content, and then just some hands-on stuff. You're welcome to stay after, and we'll help you walk you through how to do certain things, like the new flyers, etc. So if you have a laptop, grab it, bring it up, and we'll get it started here shortly after. That's it. Takeaways. What were your takeaways today? In 60 seconds. Shout them out. New CRM. What else? Boomtown. Thistle Farms. God, that was good. Corona. Corona and White Bridge Road go together.
I add value to all my clients.
I add value to all my clients. It seems like. Seems like you add value to all your clients. That's right, it does. What else? Amazon.
People aren't getting married anymore.
People aren't getting married. No more entry. Which means more houses for us. So, all right, that's all we got, y'all. Thank you so much for coming, and have a wonderful Tuesday.